Hello and welcome to LearningEngineer.com, where we engineer learning for efficiency. My name is Michael Langdon, and today what I want to do is show you how to create an automated cover letter. So if you're looking for a job and you want to have the hiring manager's name and the company name automatically inserted to your cover letter and then saved, well, that will let you do this. So the first thing I want to do is show you where you can find this document. So I uploaded it to my website. So if you go to LearningEngineer.com/cloud, and you will find it right here. It's called coverletter.docm, meaning that it's a macro-enabled document. Okay. So when you first open it, it'll probably ask you if it's okay to enable the content, and then you would just say yes. Okay. So that's how you would download it. So if I click on this, it'll say, do you want to download it? I can just overwrite it here. Well, let me close this first. So I'm just going to overwrite it there. So you download it, save. I'm going to say yes, replace it. And then we'll just click on it here and open it. And right here it'll say protected view is enable editing. And we're going to say click the button and enable editing, and then it's going to say macros have been disabled. Is it okay to enable the content? And if you want to see it run, that's what you would want to do. So I'm just going to click enable content and you'll see what happens. And then it'll say hiring manager, so we'll just say Jane Doe, and the company will be Doe Inc. Okay, I click OK. Now it wants me to enter the name of my document, and then I'm going to name it Doe Inc. So when I upload my cover letter to the company's application or whatever, I can easily find it. Okay, so then we're going to click OK there. It tells me it's been saved to the documents folder of this computer. Okay, and that's it. And you can see here it says Jane Doe. Here's Doe Incorporated. Here's Doe Incorporated here. So I have the name of the company in two places, here and here. Whoops. Here and here, and then the name of the hiring manager here. Okay, now if you obviously want to put these in more than these places, you can easily do that. Okay, so now I'm going to actually close this, or I'm going to actually open up the old one. So here's my cover letter. Okay, and I'm going to open that. Okay, and of course it's going to say enable content. I'm going to click OK, but instead I'm going to click cancel here. So this is our document. And as you can see, everything's blank. Now the first thing you want to do is you want to set up your document. Okay, and to do that we come over here to File. We come down here to Options. Okay, and the first thing we want to do is go to Customize Ribbon and make sure that Developer, this one right here, Developer is checked. Okay, and it is. So that's unchecked. That's checked. Then the next thing we want to do is go up to Advanced and then scroll down to where it says Show Document Content, and we're going to just say Show Bookmarks. Okay, so okay. So now we can see our bookmarks, and I'm just going to enlarge this a little bit. So my first bookmark is here. My second bookmark is here, and my third bookmark is here. Okay, so you can easily see all three bookmarks. Now if I wanted to add a bookmark, okay, let's say I wanted to add a bookmark here, okay, for some reason, or let's say I want to add a bookmark I want to add the bookmark for the hiring manager's name right here. So I'm thanking them specifically in advance for this opportunity. Okay? Or I could put it at the beginning of the sentence. Let's do that. So let's take this thank you, we'll lowercase that, we'll put a comma, we'll put it right before the comma. Now to insert a bookmark, what you do is you come over here to where it says insert. Okay? You make sure that your cursor is where you're going to be placing the bookmark. And then you come up to here where it says bookmark, you click bookmark, and then we say oops, I'm sorry, that's wrong. And then we say bookmark, and then so as it's highlighted there, we can say hiring person 2, okay, and then we click add. And now there's our add bookmark there, okay. So now we have 4 bookmarks. We have our thing all set. I'm just going to save this quickly so that we get all our stuff. And then what we want to do is we want to come over to here where it says developer. So I'm going to click on that. Then I'm going to click on Visual Basic. Okay. Oh, I have another document open. So I'm going to quick close that. I'm going to close this, close this, close this, then come back to this. Come back to developer. Click on that, click on this. Okay. So now that's gone. So now we already have a user form here, and you can see it. There's a folder called forms and there's a folder called user forms. When you first come in, this won't be here. So what you have to do is you have to come up here where it says this document. This is a generic word referring to any document that you're working on. We right click on it and we come down here and we say insert, and we insert a user form. Okay? Pretty simple. And then that gives us this folder and this user form. Okay? I double click on the user form and it brings it up. And as you can see, here's the name of the user form. I've just left mine as user form 1. Now I did change the caption on that to enter cover letter information, and that shows up here, but I am not going to change the name because I use it in my programming. So I'm just going to click on my form, and when I do that, the toolbox comes up. And in our toolbox we have a pointer, a label, a text box, a combo box, a list box, a check box, an option button, a toggle button, a frame. A frame is for basically these option buttons so that you can group them. A command button, a tab strip, multi-page, a scroll bar, a spin button, and an image. There's more of these controls that you can get access to. If you right click, I believe, you can click additional controls. And as you can see, you can bring in additional controls. Okay. So the first thing, so here we have our form. And to show you how the form works, as you can see, we can come over here and we can make our form larger or smaller. You know, we can do all this stuff. I'm just going to make it slightly larger so I can show you how to work with some of these controls. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to come over here and we're going to take a text box. And the way you'd use a text box is you just kind of drag it out. Okay, once you've done that, you'll notice that you have the properties of the text box over here. And so we can change the name of our text box, and generally that's a good idea, to change it to something that makes it easy to identify. Okay? And the other thing that I do is I generally come down here to where the font is, and I change the font to, I like to keep it at Tahoma, but I change it to bold and 14. And then you can just close that. Now you can also format a bunch of them. Like if I wanted to, I could select all of them and format them all the same. So that's our text box. And then the next thing you generally want to put next to a text box is a label, and that's this one. And we can just click that and drag it out. And generally you don't need to change the name of the label unless you're going to use programming to change the label name. But you do need to change the caption. So we could say like company address. Okay. And then here's the font, and we could change the font to bold 14. Okay. Whoops. And then click OK. I forgot to do that last time. So that's how that would work. If you select them both, you can drag them around. You can go Control-C, Control-V and copy them and paste them, which makes it really easy to keep them uniform and so on. Now I'm just going to delete these because you kind of have an idea how they work. The important thing for me to show you here is that I've renamed these up here. So if you click on this one, you can see it's called Hiring Manager Name, and then this one is called Company Name. Okay? So after you have this label in this text box, this label in this text box, then we click here and create command buttons, and you just do these the same. There's a command button. There's the name right here. Here's the font that you can change. I'm just going to delete this. So there's my OK button, and as you can see, the name of it is OK But. The cancel button is Cancel But. Of course, I formatted them in that Tahoma 14 bold. Now the key to programming in Visual Basic is that you just double click on where you need to put the programming, and that's the OK button, because what we're doing is you enter in your information, then you click the OK button to submit. So if we double click on that, so when I double click on the button, here it is right here, the private sub OK But click. So this is what happens when you click the OK button. All of this right here. Okay? Under the cancel button, it just says user form hide. So it says take this user form and get rid of it. Okay? Now, if we go to our document and we kind of like look at this, you can see when you have a document and you say new, it says user form 1 show, and if you have a document open, it says user form 1 show. So it shows them no matter what you do here. So if I were to do this as a template, it would show this one, but right now it's mostly doing this one. Okay? So I'm going to come back and double click on this again. So the first thing we're going to do is create a variable called Hiring Manager var, and we're going to set it as range. Then we're going to set that variable, as we're doing now, to the active document bookmark, and the bookmark's name is hiringperson.range. Then we set the hiring manager variable text to the hiring manager name value of the text box in our form. Now we're going to do the same thing with the company name. We're going to create a variable and name it, set it as range. Then we're going to attach it to one of the bookmarks, the company name bookmark, and set it as range. We're going to create another variable named company name var2 as range. We're going to set it to the next active bookmark called company name 2. Then what we're going to do is we're going to set each variable text to the text box, and you'll notice that the text box name, company name.value, or company name value, we use the same for each line. Now we repaint the document, and that sets everything into place. The next thing we do is we created a variable that's a string, and then we create a variable that's an integer. And what we're doing with that integer one is we're looking where the period is in the file name. Now we set the doc name to nothing and the integer position to the string name with the string doc name, and we're looking for that period. So if the integer position of that string is 0, then we're going to do the string doc name input box, and the box is going to ask you what you want as the name. If the integer position is anything other than 0, Then it sets the integer position to negative or minuses it from 1, and then it adds the docx to the string doc name. That ends our if-then statement. Then we take our active document and we do a save as, and then we use as the file name that string doc name. Then we set the file format to the format document default, which is Word. And then we have a message box that pops up that says your file has been saved to the documents folder on this computer. And that's it. Now, if you remember, we added a bookmark to this. Whoops, I'm sorry. Okay, it was this bookmark down here. So let's take a look at what its name is. So back to insert, and we'll go bookmark. And it is hiring person 2. So I'm going to show you how we would add this. So I'm going to come down here, go back to here. So this is hiring person 2. So this would work up here. Okay. So what I would have to do is I would have to have another variable. So I would have to say dim hiring manager var2 as range. And then I would set that. So I'm just going to copy this. Let me just take this one. Control C, Control V. And I'm going to take this and go 2 to match this. Okay. Then I would come back down here and click hiring person 2 and go hiring person 2 as range. Okay. And then I would say hiring manager var2.text equals, and this right here, because we can get it from the same text box. Now it's not happy with that, but I'm not doing anything yet, so that's why I got that error. Okay, and that would do it. That would add that next variable. Okay, and then you want to make sure, so we save this and we go back to this user form, and then you just want to make sure your cancel button does have user form 1 hide, so you can get rid of it if you don't want to use it. Okay, so that's everything we need for that, and then we can close this. Okay, we can also save this. Okay, we're going to save that, and then we can close this, and then we can come back in here. We can click cover letter. We can say hiring manager name. We'll say Jeff Peters, and we'll say Jeff Peters' name is Better Days Incorporated. Okay, we click OK. Of course, it wants us to name our document, so we'll just say Better Days, and then OK. The file has been saved to the documents folder in this computer. So here's Jeff Peters, here's Better Days Incorporated, here's Better Days Incorporated, and here's Jeff Peters. Now if you don't want to see the bookmarks anymore, then you would come up here back to options, advanced, show, and uncheck show bookmarks. I click OK, and now you don't see that line anymore. Okay, of course you then want to save this again, and that's it. This one is done.